Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome back to Invictus Racing League's F1 division, brought to you by GT Omega and Driver 61, Nelcut Hall Hotel Golf and Country Club, and in association with Grid Finder. My name is Webbo, and I'm here to take you through our 12th round of the championship. I'm joined, as ever, by Lightning. Hey, Lightning.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait for another thriller. This time we're heading to Portimao, a place quite close to your heart.
It certainly is. Lovely track, lovely place.
An absolute roller coaster. Last time out, we saw Daniele Musso take his fifth win of the championship and moves to almost two complete wins clear of the rest of the field. So another big points haul today would be quite devastating for the championship. He's currently on 106 points, with Foxy Red on 78. Foxy with one win and 2 second places to his name. Then Mr. Consistency Max, who has scored points in all but, I think, one of the rounds that he has partaken in, on 71 points, followed by Speed Queen on 57, Livingwall 48, and a Costa on 46, slipping down the order somewhat after some difficult races lately. In the Constructors' Championship, Alfa Romeo lead the way, Burmeister and Daniele Musso on 139, which is quite a long way, almost 50 points clear now of McLaren, driven by Max and Bills. Then Mercedes, Alpine, AlphaTauri make up your top grid. So Lightning, Portimao, as we said, a big challenge for the drivers, especially if they haven't managed to get a lot of practice in.
It really is. There are lots of very tricky traction zones because they're off camber. I'm expecting a few drivers who haven't got much practice in to have a few moments through turn 4 and I believe turn 8 are the trickiest parts of the track, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it is incredibly fun, and it's so wide, so there's lots of different overtaking opportunities. And if we see Foxy lower down in the order at the start of the race, I'm hoping for some good moves, as he is very capable of, as we've seen in the past, likewise with Max. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Definitely. Got some other new drivers to us. I think Super Mies. I've not commentated over him before. So I think a couple of drivers return after making debuts in the last few rounds. But really, this is crunch time in the championship, so we'll be focusing the majority of our comments on that. I must say, before we get underway, that all of us here at Invictus Racing League and all our sponsors are deeply saddened to hear about the passing of Sir Frank Williams, and we will be observing a minute's silence, Lightning, as qualifying begins, and the car should stay in the garage, and then we will get on with racing, as I'm sure Sir Frank would want us all to do.
Absolutely.
Great to see Ryan here in the chat. Super fan Ryan, and anybody else joining us, do say hello. I haven't heard from Abby yet, who is Burmeister's #1 fan, but anybody else who's here, do say hey. But do understand that we won't be commentating for a minute in about 20 seconds time. So Portimao, a roller coaster of a track, undulating turns, lots of braking while turning, lots of high speed, and a relatively decent run down the main straight, but difficult and overtaking track. And we'll get into the meat of this one very soon. But like I say, a minute's silence now for Sir Frank Williams. Thank you, everybody. Our hearts go out to the Williams family and all the colleagues and ex-drivers. We're all very grateful for the legacy that Sir Frank left behind, and the memories will live with us till our dying days ourselves, I'm sure.
Absolutely. An absolute legend.
Well, as I mentioned, Sir Frank, I'm sure, would not want any of this fuss and bother, and would want us to be concentrating on racing cars going quickly. First out of the pits is not one of his cars, unfortunately. It is the Alpine, but we'll get on with our coverage with a heavy heart, but with, say, lots of fond memories. What are specific challenges that the drivers are looking at strategically here tonight, Lightning?
Well, despite the looks of it and the undulation and trail braking, the tyre wear is surprisingly low. So in terms of strategy, a soft, medium, or vice versa is perfectly easily manageable. I think the thing to worry for are the very difficult traction zones of turn 4 and 8. Make sure you don't spin there, and you should be all right.
Well, Nathan is on his push lap. He's about to start his flying lap. Why don't we take us through a lap for us from a driver's perspective, Lightning?
Okay, heading into turn 1, 199 miles an hour, brake, 3 downshifts, flat out through these next turns, hard braking, very understeery right-hander, and then through the very difficult traction zone of turn 4, trying to invalidate because it's very easy to do when you go wide, heading down the hill, late braking, try and hook that apex in, very difficult traction through here as well, flat out through the next left-hander and a slight downshift on the right-hander, and then super understeer and very oversteery on the exit here, and he invalidates despite not going off track.
Oh, he was just over that curb, wasn't he? Very difficult to make it happen out there.
But he would have gotten an invalidation there anyway. But might as well complete the lap to get a banker time and a rough idea of where your pace is. So heading down the hill for the last braking zone and get the traction through here. If you run even slightly wide with your tyres still technically on track, it does invalidate, so that is a glitch on this track.
Definitely have to be
we might
careful.
be seeing some track limit warnings getting removed, but that's for later decisions.
Definitely. Well, we'll join Speed Queen for now, but feel free to watch other drivers on the grid. Ryan asks, is Matty here as well? Ryan, Matty gets absolutely everywhere, and I joined a server recently, and he said he had the cheek to say, Webbo, can't believe you're here as well. And yeah, I did have a good laugh at that, because Matty drives everywhere all week long. So yeah, you'll see him all over the place. Hey to Maggot, hey to Abby and Tom. Abby said she is here. She's got a dinner with her, so it's a dinner with a race to make sure Burmeister gets it on pole. She says Tom Go Prof with the first fastest lap of 17.230, only a quarter of a second faster than we saw Nathan run that lap in. P3 for Speed Queen 17.5, and Totsi gets a Speed Queen a 17.75, and Totsi a 17.5. Martin close to Tom Go Prof as well. Reshka with the other time lap in so far, and as I mentioned, Super Mies, we haven't seen him make an appearance yet. Nathan's gone round for a second run, Lightning, to get a banker in there.
Yeah, I was on board with him, and into the last corner he had a horrific run and made a lot of mistakes. So looks like he hasn't had much practice whatsoever.
Right.
Meanwhile, Kimi with a 16.7. Quite a good lap, half a second faster than the next man behind him. I think
just watching Max as well. Max heading down to the Rolex turn 5. During the race you'll see why I call it the Rolex turn. And he looks to be on it as well. Daniele playing it cool in the pits.
I think that for this qualifying session I'm looking for a 16.0 for the pole time. I think that's my prediction at least.
Wow,
That'd be a very, very good lap. But I think that the likes of Kimi and Daniele can get into the 16.0s.
Yeah, Max is keeping this lap alive despite a little bit of traffic in the third sector there. He's still on it. So just a couple of corners to go. This kind of parabolica-like turn 14, and then the turn 15 flat-out section with a little bit of banking, very Sandvort-like, but with more unforgiving track limits. A 17.0 goes Max on P2. So Kimi leads the way after the first runs are in, although Foxy's out there doing a run at the moment. Then Tom, Martin, Burmeister, Totzi. Foxy's coming in. He's not happy with that lap, so just leaving Super Mies out there to complete a lap, who's apparently deliberately slowing on the way to the line. 18.7 for Super Mies. Interesting tactics there. Let's join Matty though in the Williams, who will be absolutely devastated to see that traffic come out. It was Daniele coming out the pits, and that has invalidated Matty's lap. I wouldn't necessarily think that that was Matty's fault, Lightning.
That was, yeah, very unlucky. Dirty air causing him to drift wide. Daniele should have really gone right, because there's a little exit turn there you can go through specifically to avoid things like that. But yeah, you don't really expect it, don't really think about it sometimes. Well,
that could spice things up if Matty fails to get a decent time in and decides to report Daniele. Daniele's actually touring at the moment in front of Big Bambino as well on a flying lap. So Daniele not necessarily watching his mirrors particularly carefully in these first runs, and Big Bambino invalidates just after passing Matty. So sorry, just after passing Daniele. Yeah, not the best outlap from Daniele, but we join him, Lightning, for his attack on the medium tyres here.
Yeah, up the hill and then down the hill. As you said, it is quite a roller coaster, very fun. Heading into turn 1. Will he get to 200 miles an hour? Nope. 1 mile an hour off. Doesn't invalidate. Keeps it flat out. And then braking for turn 3. And then into turn 4. A little bit wide. Nope. He keeps it within the bounds quite perfectly.
Nice line through there. That was slightly different than we've seen before.
Yeah, it was very good. I was expecting him to go wide, but he didn't. So that was very good.
Little snap on the way out of turn 5 will hurt his traction all the way up to here, where he will step on the brakes for the first time. Oh, the car's loose, isn't it?
Yeah, that corner and turn 4 are the absolute worst, I'd say, on the whole calendar. It's so difficult to get the power down. And,
would he expect the track to come to him with that oversteer, or does he need to go and dial it out?
You just have to be very careful on the throttle, and that's about all you can do. You can change the suspension geometry a little bit to help mitigate the oversteer, but it doesn't do that much. So yeah, just have to be careful. That's it.
So a third place timer, 17.0. Second away from your prediction so far, Lightning, with some track evolution to come. We've passed through, well, getting to around half time now of this qualifying session, seeing Kimi, Max, Daniele, Tom, Martin, Burmeister and Totzi, then Matty, Speed Queen and Reschke, your top 10. Anybody else actually on a run? Tom is on a run, and he's 800ths faster than he's been before. Looking to be driving with a little bit of margin on the turn 5, but perhaps that's sensible given the trouble Daniele had getting the throttle down. These fast turning entries into slower corners definitely hurt the cars, chew up the tyres, and it's so difficult to stay within the white lines.
It really is. I'm just looking forward to the race so much. It's going to be very exciting in my opinion.
Tom gets a big snap coming out of turn 13, and that will definitely eat away that 800th he'd just accrued through sector 2. I don't expect this one to be very special, but I've been proven wrong before. Tom across the line, and it's a 10th it cost him overall versus his top time. We've got Martin just cooling down, I believe. Let's see. We've got a Red Bull about to finish a lap. Double wave yellow apparently across the entire track. which is interesting.
Certainly is. I think Nathan is going for another consecutive lap.
Interesting. Okay, because we've just got the one Ferrari on the track tonight, so let's have a look at Nathan then. And you were saying that tyre wear is low, but actually I wasn't expecting drivers to try and double stack their laps. But Nathan, this is the second time he's done this.
I wouldn't double stack my laps, but it is still quite low.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Bit of oversteer there, and a lot of oversteer.
Oh, a lot
here.
of oversteer, yeah, round he goes. There's no grip out there at that section of the track, unfortunately. So, yeah, Nathan's lap.
Yeah, I've been on board with Nathan quite a lot through this session, and he has gotten 0 practice in by the looks of it.
Right.
We have seen him do very, very good drives before. I remember Brazil, he was right up there. But yeah, very off it today.
Yeah, maybe he'll be. He just needs to make some adjustments and get a little bit of track time. But he'll have plenty of laps to practice that. Max goes faster still, a 16.728, just what, 15 hundredths of a second slower than the provisional pole at the moment. The drivers are all in currently. Super Mies is out there. Can he hold this lap together? Oh no, this one's not looking very neat at all. So I think that 8th place is the lap he put in. What about Big Bambino and Livingwall? Well, Big Bambino unfortunately is invalidated, and it's hard to find a driver not invalidating tonight, Lightning. It's very tough.
Yeah, sadly, Codemasters haven't fixed the track limits issues. So even if you're technically within limits on every other track, on here you're not. And I believe it's raining.
Yes, I did just see a flash, but I didn't want to overstate it. So the track will not be getting any better. So it could be that the drivers have had their opportunity now. Livingwall P9.
It.
So anybody else actually on a lap, Speed Queen might have the opportunity here, but she's already slightly slower through sector 1. But the track is getting worse, Lightning.
Yeah, I think this is the grid.
Wow.
People didn't get out on time. Like Big Bambino, an invalidation has cost him.
Yeah.
And he's now going to be starting last.
Well, Speed Queen currently 12th. She is 4 tenths faster than she's been before. So just a matter of tiptoeing around these last 2 corners now and try and get up into the top 10. Let's see. It's now flat out. Will she need to lift across the inside curb? No, just stays off it sensibly. And heading to the line then, Speed Queen from 12th up to P7, right next to her teammate Tom, 17.240. Burmeister didn't improve, unfortunately. Let's see, I think Livingwall is cooling down, isn't he?
That was amazing to manage to improve despite the track conditions, without a doubt getting a lot worse.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Well, Martin is pushing as well. He's on his lap here, navigates the tough turn 4, and he's under his time as well, 26 hundredths faster. Not quite enough to see him jump up any places. Kimi's retired, he doesn't fancy another run on this.
Has spun at the last corner.
Oh no.
The last braking zone corner.
Cool. Of course, the drivers will have had plenty of notice that this track is coming tonight. It's not like it's revealed to them on the night. That would be an interesting league arrangement, wouldn't it?
I think that does happen. I've heard of it happening.
Randomised track draw, yeah. Well, Martin is currently 6 hundredths faster than he's been before. It's very tight between 3rd and 4th at the moment. I don't know if Daniele is actually attacking a lap. I think he might be out there. Let's see what Martin's got before we cut over to our championship leader. At the moment, Kimi's got the pole position by a tiny margin. Martin then for the line. No improvement this time out.
Heartbreaking for Max.
Oh.
Only. Oh, what's happened?
Yeah, I just went to Daniele, who is quicker. He's got a purple middle sector as the rain falls on medium tyres, no less.
Nah.
It's time for some Musso magic again.
If he gets anywhere near the pole time on those mediums in the wet,
you'll quit.
Oh, he actually improves.
He
That's
did
amazing.
improve. He did improve. He lost a little in the final sector, but he improved his time starting on medium tyres. That's quite something. Totzi's out there on softs trying to attack as well now. Totzi currently 4th with good pace in this track. And this is a track that Lightning, the drivers, it will separate the drivers by a larger margin than we're used to in F1.
Well, it's certainly a track that needs a lot of skill, a lot of practice. So I think that that's why we have...
goes Totzi, exactly the same place. We saw another car earlier. So I think that lap's gone. Tom's decided to put some inters on. I don't know if he's going to go out and actually run. But maybe it might be worth something if the weather has predicted some wet running. Might be good to get an idea, but I think he's just faking us out in the pits there.
I hope we have some rain for the race. I don't know if we've had any information.
I haven't yet. No, Matty usually provides that, but he hasn't yet. He's hosting tonight, so hopefully, if he's listening in, he can help us out with the forecast. Oh, Super Mies, he was under his time as well and invalidates in the middle sector. Sadly, Matty himself is very close to his first time. The track doesn't appear to be all that slippy, considering how long the rain's been falling for.
I was surprised. It looks dry, but surely the grip must be low. I think that Super Mies is going for another lap. He has the fuel. He does not have the ERS, and he has an invalidation. No, he doesn't. He goes off track extra.
Well, and, stop press. We've got a weather update. We are going to get rain in the second part of the race, we are told.
Oh, this is going to be exciting.
Thanks to Max for that one. Foxy starting down in 12th Lightning at the moment, and I don't think he's going to be improving. Foxy second in the championship, third in the championship, I think, right now, and that's not going to help with Daniele up in third and Max in second.
Yeah, we have seen this before from Foxy, not doing too well in qualifying, but always somehow managing to make his way up in the race. So we should be able to see some brilliant moves, as we have seen in the past from Foxy. Looking forward to that. Max, meanwhile, only 15 milliseconds off pole. Could this be his chance to get that win that has eluded him this whole season?
Absolutely, and Kimi has very strong qualifying pace usually, but has had a tendency to spill it in the races. He gets pole position, and isn't that fantastic to see a Williams on pole as well after our tribute earlier on. Kimi 16.713 and just 1500th behind Max for McLaren, then Daniele, Totzi, Martin, Tom Go Prof, Speed Queen, Burmeister, Super Mies and Livingwall. Lightning, take us through the rest if you will.
Followed by Matty, Foxy, Reshka, Nathan, and then I need to go down M. Doran and Big Bambino, who didn't set the time because he didn't get out there in time.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an accusation coming out from Daniele that there was a Haas in the middle of the track, that Daniele said he was on a 16.6 just before the rain. Bambino agrees and has apologised, but Daniele's not in a forgiving mood and perhaps isn't particularly aware of the fact that he cost two other drivers their laps.
Yeah, ironic, but hey ho, we move.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Big Bambino, not setting a time, so hopefully he'll be able to get some rhythm organised and get himself back under control for the race. So, looks like we're going to have a dry but overcast start to the race, and we are expecting some rain in the second half. Do make sure that you've subscribed to the Invictus Racing League channel tonight. You've liked the video as well. We definitely want to see some strong metrics on the videos, please. It really helps, and it's a very small way of thanking everyone involved for the coverage. And you can find links to follow us on socials at the top of the live chat as well. love to hear everybody's predictions. Will this finally be the win for Max that we've been waiting for so long, as Lightning predicted? Can Kimi hold on to the end of the race? What of Burmeister and Daniele Musso? And of course, how far up the grid will our resident Birmingham racer Foxy Red manage to get us to? His usual ascendancy through the field. I know you'll be probably pretty keen to be watching Foxy's start, Lightning, as usual.
Yeah, absolutely. He's number 12, starting in 12th place, so that's fitting.
A little bit of numerical symmetry there. I know you've been enjoying your numbers.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, we have a normal pause here just to allow the drivers to get themselves comfortable and get organised for the race, sort out their strategies and everything. Predictions for the win, please, guys. Who do you predict? And Lightning, who are you backing tonight?
I'm backing Max. He seems fast, and I think that he has that extra willpower to finally get that victory. The races are running out, and this is certainly a very good position to be in. P2, very, very close to pole position, so he definitely has the pace.
Absolutely. This is a 16 race championship. There'll be 3 more to come after this one. So it's actually a 15 race championship. Sort yourself out, Webbo. 3 races to come. Spain, Singapore, and Mexico will be our finale 3, but we're concentrating on the Portimao circuit here in Portugal. I don't know if there'll be any other times when this will feature in the F1 game in future iterations. So we should make most of this one and keep adding Portimao into the calendars for the seasons on this game. Lightning, do you think?
Yeah, sadly, next year I don't think we're going to have a Portuguese Grand Prix, which is a bit heartbreaking. Oh well.
Well, have to value it while we have it. Well, we're off to the formation lap then, and Amazon say 2-stop strategies, which is garbage as far as Lightning's preview is concerned.
Especially considering the rain, and who knows what might happen.
Exactly, soft medium or medium soft, but we have a driver starting on hard tyres. That's Nathan in the Williams. In the Alpine. Big Bambino and M. Doran starting on at the very back. Then Nathan, Reshka. A bit of a slow outlap here so far in the rear of the field. Foxy in 12th with Matty in 11th. All choosing different tyres. But how far, I wonder, will the softs get? Will they get to the wet conditions? That's what they'll be aiming for. Livingwall in 10th. Then Super Mies, Burmeister, Speed Queen and Tom Go Prof, the AlphaTauris together on the grid. Need to just be careful not to run into one another. And Martin for the lone Ferrari, and the other Haas of Tozzi up in 4th. Our championship leader Daniele Musso starting on the clean side of the grid in P3. And as I say, a win today will be very close to securing the championship way before the end of the season. Mr. Consistency, one of our favourite interviewees, Max, in P2 at the moment, and possibly his best starting position that I can remember at least, and the strongest chance he's got for a win here. But of course, with Daniele breathing down his neck, it's certainly not going to be easy. Jaka is here for Kimi and says, "Go Kimi!" Absolutely, definitely good to see some fresh faces on the front row. And a reminder and a thank you to our sponsors, Nelcut Hall, to GT Omega, gridfinder.com, and to Driver61 for making this race possible today. But we're almost at the start. The drivers just waiting for the very last moment to move over onto the dirty side, starting on the even numbered side of the grid. 16 runners will take the race start for 33 laps around this fabulous circuit. Looks like warm track temperatures out there, bright sunshine and sharp shadows, but we are expecting a change in those conditions later in the race. I love the start angle as well here. The start lights are coming on We're almost underway, folks. It's lights out. It's go, go, go at IRL's F1 round 12. The Williams pulls across to discourage a move, but they go 3 wide behind that, clattering around. Kind of a pinball effect, but Max holds on. Daniele getting elbowed out, first from the Haas, then by the Ferrari, and I think he got a nudge up the rear from Super Mies as well. Daniele then losing out under momentum from Super Mies as it looks like Speed Queen coming down the outside. She won't have expected Daniele to be braking quite so early on the dirty side of the track, but on medium tyres she will have a small window of opportunity to get by. So for our championship leader, not the best start. What about you, Lightning? What did you see from further down?
Well, I saw Burmeister having a bit of an incident and a spin, causing Foxy to have to slam on the brakes, but he still has made up 2 positions with some beautiful switchbacks at turn 1 and turn 4, now
Great
in 9th
stuff.
place.
Daniele just gets a very unusual move done, just getting an overlap coming out of 7 into 8, and recovers a place up to P5. Nice stuff from Daniele.
Burmeister and Tom have had incidents. I'm not sure if they're related, but they are both way down the order, and Burmeister has significant front wing damage. Yeah,
good catch on that front. So will we expect to see a pit stop? I wonder. We've also got pit stops from Nathan M. Doran, Reshka, Burmeister, all on the first lap, and Tom Prof. That must be absolute damage city down there. We also saw, I think, the first penalty for M. Doran already. We'll find out again as he exits the pits, but a big gap opening up at the front from Kimi to Max, then Totsi, Martin, Daniele and Super Mies with Speed Queen on soft tyres behind. Daniele, the lead medium driver, then Livingwall and Foxy Red in 8th and 9th, and Big Bambino in 10th at the moment, making a monster start. Big Bambino from the back of the grid. Of course, everybody pitting has definitely helped his challenge out so far.
Foxy Red is currently challenging Livingwall right over the back of him, putting pressure on every corner, looking for a move.
Yeah, we know Foxy can be very racy on starts and restarts. Certainly seems to be able to get the car dialed up, or at least live with a cool tyre face better than most other drivers. Oh, just ahead of them though, Speed Queen challenging Super Mies here. I keep thinking of Me 6 when I see Super Mies' name.
Yeah, Me 11.
Anyway, Speed Queen with a slipstream. No use of DRS, gets by. I think Foxy is going for it on Livingwall as well, but they're a little bit closer to one another. Foxy trying to keep his boot in, brakes slightly later.
My God.
Is that going to work out? It just about does. He leaves racing room, and Livingwall and Foxy continue on. I think Livingwall's going to suffer with momentum from Big Bambino, but just not close enough to make a move there. That was a great sequence of corners from the drivers there.
That was brilliant racing. Synchronous moves. Oh, Big Bambino up the inside at turn 6. Beautifully clean move, and makes it work.
So potentially, was that possibly just a small traction issue for Livingwall on that difficult corner?
Brilliant traction from Bambino. Livingwall suffering a bit on that exit, a bit flustered from all the racing going on before that.
Well, the battle for third is now a 3-way tussle. We've got Martin in 4th, chasing down Totsi, but Daniele close behind. No DRS until they pass the start-finish straight, if we survive, at least without a safety car. So we should get DRS enabled now, but they won't have that advantage for a little while. Martin getting up just on slipstream and possibly using a bit of ERS, but Martin up to 3rd currently. Totsi not over defending Lightning and giving up a place to Daniele. It's kind of key round here.
You had to be very careful. I think Martin just had a lot of oversteer there. Totsi is in the slipstream, but not enough of a speed advantage going down the hill. Speed Queen in the watching brief, waiting for the action to unfold. Hopefully, looking to see if they all crash and she can just sail on through.
Hopefully from her perspective, of course, not from ours.
Exactly, yes, absolutely. I want the least amount of crashes possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I say M. Doran is the only penalised driver so far. Let's just check that wasn't something more dramatic than a 3-second, and just as I say that, Totsi gets one. Yeah, there we go, and it certainly won't be the last tonight. It's a difficult track, but so often you see drivers gaining places at the end of Grand Prix who have managed to escape the steward's ire through the race.
Martin is going to get swallowed up here. He has... Oh no, Totsi.
It's Totsi,
I think.
Lost a lot of
time. I think he has damage. Does he have damage? He lost an incredible amount of time.
He was slow, wasn't he? With Daniele now possibly getting by very easily on DRS because he was almost alongside going through the final turn, turn 15. Daniele up to 4th then, lead medium driver. Doesn't need to be too aggressive at this stage, but Kimi checking out, as has Max, away from the rest of the grid and running the race to their own pace at this stage, with the tail runners all having pitted nearly 2 sectors behind the lead runners already in this one, with Daniele now starting to get fastest first sector on the mediums. Looks like it's a good time to be on the medium tyres right now, although the softs should have plenty of life in them.
Oh no, Nathan has spun, trying to enter the pits, I believe. And yeah, he's in the pit lane now.
Damage?
Yes, I believe so. Oh, he's retired, so yes, right. A lot of damage.
Probably a lot, yeah. Not least damage to one's ego. Although, if he's pitting at this stage... Whoa, a big move from Foxy onto Super Mies. That move's looking very popular tonight. The move into turn sort of 13, late on the brakes, different entry line, and Foxy getting on by. He's got a nice gap, probably. Is he able to hold on? Super Mies. That's the trouble with going for an unconventional pass, is that you end up with a very conventional defence you have to make down the main straight. Foxy clear enough away though, and we just saw Totsi and Martin, I think, fighting again. Totsi getting passed by Martin under DRS, just up ahead on the track, but Martin doesn't want to let that go, and he's hounding down Daniele. Forgive me, it was Daniele getting past Martin for 3rd on these medium tyres, so I think Daniele's mediums are definitely looking very strong right now.
Meanwhile, is it just me or is Max closing in on Kimi?
No, I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, more ERS, so a little bit more power down those straights. Daniele getting those overtakes after that horrific start by his standards, with only 15% ERS. So that's not going to help his adventures. I think that Martin could be looking for a move here, despite having similar ERS power. But with that slipstream and such a long straight, hopefully you can see something.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm just looking down the grid as Foxy defends from Super Mies and Bambino. There's a long DRS train from 5th down to 10th, and just cancelling each other's overspeed out. Super Mies takes a long trip around the exit at turn 1 and picks up a penalty for his troubles. Does look like Max closing in, certainly on the track map, but I think they were just heading towards turn 5. So, a move here in defence. Speed Queen from Foxy. Speed Queen hanging on, but yeah, these medium tyres, certainly on Foxy as well, looking very good.
Foxy's going for it.
Yeah, he's really
very
hot,
aggressive, and he's on those medium tyres, can't forget. So he's doing all these moves with a disadvantage currently. They'll definitely become faster soon.
Here we go, his favourite move into 13. I love this, fantastic move. Great stuff from Foxy. People are going to get wise to it, but so far it's working on multiple people around the track.
Oh, Super Mies hits Speed Queen, causing her to get a horrific exit, and for some reason Super Mies is still going for the move, which isn't very fair at all.
The old touring car bump and run.
Yeah, there's going to be some stewards looking at that.
I don't think he has much choice than to go for it though, because he's hounded by Big Bambino behind. Speed Queen just moving to the inside. She just had DRS. Oh no! Okay, that's definitely becoming a pattern now from Super Mies. He's damaged his own front wing end plate and just deserts, you would perhaps speculate, given his treatment at the back of Speed Queen's car. Big Bambino should be able to get him under braking here with additional downforce. In fact, Super Meese almost chopping off the front of Livingwall's Aston Martin as they navigate turn 5, and he's just learning where the car can actually turn on this lap, but should be heading into the pits, I would imagine. Yeah, he runs wide again, picks up his second 3-second penalty, and Livingwall getting by. So that overzealous aggression, perhaps not quite paying enough attention to the braking points of the car in front on different tyres, has cost him big time.
Yeah, it is the responsibility of the driver behind in these cases to make sure they keep their nose clean. Obviously, there are extenuating circumstances, but that wasn't one of them.
No, indeed. Tozzi now heavily defending against Foxy. Foxy might go for a more conventional move here on the DRS straight. There he goes, breezing on by on the mediums. I do think that these softs definitely not the right tyre to be on this
Martin
day in history.
Has decided to get rid of them onto a set of the fresh medium tyres.
So Martin down to 10th, so we'll keep an eye on his progress and whether he manages to get much of an undercut here. I don't imagine there's a huge undercut factor on this one, Lightning.
Well, not really, because you can still keep up really good lap times even on old tyres, but in general on the F1 games undercuts are quite powerful.
Yeah.
But you can still keep up good laps even with old tyres. Softs can theoretically go to lap 15, possibly 16 if you really stretch it. It'd be very difficult, but you can do it. But the skies don't look like they're getting any worse. I think there's been a crash for both Red Bulls. Nope, just one of them.
No,
Reshka
just
has
Reshka down there. Looks like he's back underway. Let's have a look at the look at his car. Hopefully, just a little Spinella out of turn 1, heading towards turn 2. There's not much to hit round there. It's definitely a feature of this track, Lightning, just how difficult it is to find your braking points and your markers. Max pits on lap 8, as does Tozzi. Very interesting to see them go this early. Now remember, that was 1.6 seconds Max had as a gap to Kimi.
Yes. Oh, Max was doing exactly what I was thinking, going on to another set of the soft tyres, waiting for that rain as fast as humanly possible. I'm very grateful that he did that. I was thinking the exact same strategy, to be honest.
So that will be a more powerful undercut if you're running on softs that
Without
are fresh, fresh out the tyre blankets. But at the moment, then Daniele inherits second place, waiting for Kimi to pit. The question, I guess, is will the mediums last long enough to get the drivers to the inters? I imagine that they will, because the mediums run 20 plus laps here.
Yep, they do. And then intermediates, they'll last forever.
Yeah.
Absolutely forever. I think they wear about 1.2% a lap. That's it.
Well, Big Bambino out there, just 4/10 behind Speed Queen. He's found a bit of pace at this stage. Speed Queen, of course, her softs are close to done for. We're seeing earlier pit stops than we expected, but a yellow flag, Lightning.
Duran has spun at the very difficult traction zone of turn 4. Meanwhile, Kimi from the lead boxes. Will he go for softs or mediums? Copying Max. I think he's going for softs, yes.
Tozzi gets by Speed Queen under DRS up to Big Bambino gets past Speed Queen up to P3. I've swapped the Haas drivers around in my mind somehow. But Kimi has made it out in front of Max and has actually extended his lead by, let's call it 4/10, something around that region. So the undercut didn't work for Max there.
Despite a purple sector 3, must have gotten held up in the first 2 sectors. But he will have warmer tyres, and ERS is very similar, so that won't make much of a difference.
I would say that on the game, I think Tom Goproff gets past Burmeister, much to Abby's chagrin.
Tots has spun at turn 4. That has caused a major dent in his race.
But dent in his car as well, or is he okay? Is he alive?
Looking at his front wing, it's fine. He's absolutely fine. Just a spin.
Good stuff. I don't know about you, Lightning, but for me, the predicted out of the pits position that the game gives you is always woefully inaccurate. So it's very difficult for the drivers to find that gap that they need to come out in for a clean traffic run.
Yeah, I would agree. They, I don't know if the game factors in everything. I don't think it does. But so, you just have to look at the map and see if you can figure it out. Meanwhile, Matty gets out of the way very brilliantly, slows down completely for Kimi. But will he hold up Max?
Max just got fastest lap on that first lap out of the pits.
That makes sense, but I believe Kimi has a incredibly fast first sector. It is much faster than Max, so on these fresh tyres, Kimi has the advantage.
Speed Queen now coming back on Big Bambino. She's trying Foxy's move here. Didn't work out. I don't think she's got the braking power on the old softs that Foxy had earlier. Foxy up to P2, starting 12th. So a typical climb up the grid order from Foxy so far. In terms of championship, well, our leader is in first. Our second place is in second place. And our third place driver, Max, is currently down in 8th, going for a double soft stint, pair of stints, I should say, anticipating some good speed before the rain comes.
Prix has spun at the exit of turn 8. As we were saying, that traction zone is incredibly difficult, and we have seen lots of victims today.
So Matty doing his best to do the favours for his teammate, holding up Max for a little while, but Max gets by.
I thought Supermise was going to completely crash out there. He didn't slow down for his tyres to cool down, which is
got somebody. There he was, all the way off the track in sector 3, but has rejoined right with his teammate now. So they've spun their way to being right next to each other on track so far. Purple first sector for Max.
Reshka is disconnected, so I'll invite him back.
Right.
1 second.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Daniele gets a penalty. That's pretty important at the head of the race. He does have 4.7 seconds of a gap to Foxy, but with Max and Kimi on the soft sprinting along, you wonder if that's going to feature later on. Of course, the timing of the rain or any safety car period is going to be crucial to finding out who triumphs at the end. You've got to think that the advantage lay with the medium runners, who may well not have to stop at all until the intermediate conditions. Supermise has come in to the pits. Looks like he's having some repairs and is come out on another set of softs. Just waiting for those medium runners or the rain, whichever comes first, as Speed Queen still hanging on to the back of Big Bambino. Speed Queen still on these tyres, these 13 lap old softs. They're reaching roughly the end of their life now. Must be getting very difficult to manage, and she's waiting for a weather event or a safety car to help her out. But meanwhile, while she's got the DRS, she'll probably be able to live with the race pace of the leaders. Currently on lap 14, Daniele leads from Foxy, Big Bambino. Then we ride with Speed Queen, Livingwall ahead. I haven't got intervals right now, unfortunately, having to go on visual gaps while the grid sorts itself out. Kimi's in 6th and Max in 7th.
With a 10-second corner cutting penalty. Not sure what happened there.
Was he getting out of the way of anybody? I think he might have been getting out of the way of Daniele and giving up a place with a blue flag, and that will be super harsh if that cost him 10 seconds. And he's retired. He's actually retired.
What is he doing?
On the track, is it?
He could have gone in the pits.
He was right by the pits, and he has, retired. His car is travelling very slowly down the main straight, Lightning. That's a big issue.
Line, that is unacceptable, to be honest.
Yeah, we do need to reiterate the rules to Totsi, especially as he had the option there. You can understand his heart sinking when he got that for possibly getting out the way of the leaders, but with the pit entry right there, his AI is playing all kinds of games down the main straight. Not cool. Not cool at all. So who's close to another car? Pretty much only Speed Queen and Big Bambino. I have found this at dry conditions in Portimao. The gaps do open up. The differences between drivers' grip levels and skill levels. Totsi says he did go into the pits, so it could be a glitch there.
I was on board, so I'm entirely sure what was happening there. Well, even in the esports race. Oh, should I? No, shouldn't spoil it in case anybody hasn't seen it.
Yeah, probably.
I'll just say one driver and another driver. One driver managed to extend the gap by 4 seconds after I think 8 or 10 laps. And considering it's esports, that's really impressive.
Yeah, it is crazy how this track separates drivers out, and also just traffic as well. Traffic can really be an issue around here. There aren't many places to let the cars by. So yeah, some confusing things here coming through in the YouTube chat with Totsi saying he spun and went through the grass. That's why he got 10 seconds. Is this that he tried to go in the pits and failed, or trying to stitch that one together? And one of Foxy's friends, Charlie, is here to support him. He says he's having a wonderful race so far.
Charlie, half the time screams in Foxy's ear and half the time helps him. Or maybe both at the same time.
Yeah, he's the very best of frenemies, isn't he, Charlie?
Yeah. Very sweet.
Looks like Reshka very close to Doran, down in 13th and 12th places respectively. Back underway, back under racing speed. Not seeing any rain just yet. It's lap 17 of 33.
Yes, it is.
Really?
It's just happened.
Yes.
It just happened as you said it. Absolutely incredible.
Well, there you go.
Literally as you said the words.
Well, I wonder what the drivers do here then, because do they anticipate pitting and the rain coming in very quickly, or do they learn from qualifying, which was that the rain wasn't a huge issue for the first few laps?
Well, this is quite a dilemma for Speed Queen, because she was holding onto the DRS and keeping pace with Bambino, which is incredibly impressive, but that last lap lost 1 second. So,
yeah, it does look like she's run out. It would be worth making a gamble from her perspective. Does look like the rain's starting to build now a little bit here.
She absolutely has to stay out. It would be a complete waste of strategy if she came in now for any set of tyres, to be honest.
So I think Charlie asking what your source of information is as to how he treats Foxy. Well, I think Foxy did mention it on an interview, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you go back into the archives, you'll find Foxy making accusations that he was being yelled at by people, multiple people in his ear. Daniele goes on past the pits and decides not to pit on this occasion. The rain's starting to come down. It looks like Foxy stays out too, as does Big Bambino, but surely Speed Queen, she defies all expectations as usual and stays out again for a 17th lap on these soft tyres. And as you say, losing around a second a lap at this stage, it's certainly saving her a pit stop, but it's not helping her overall race pace at all.
These fresh soft tyres for Max and Kimi are absolutely amazing in these conditions. They are taking so much more speed through turn 1 than every other driver. It's brilliant. Kimi gets past Livingwall.
Well, there's a certain sense of urgency because these guys had the lead of the race.
They certainly did.
Matty, the first one, blinks to Inter's Lightning.
Oh, well, keep an eye on his sector times and see if they're any faster than the dry runners.
And see how, I mean, Kimi has almost saved a pit stop on Speed Queen here, and yeah, it definitely looks like the driver has got the car underneath him. Looks like the rain not affecting grip levels too much for drivers on new softs. Let's see how Speed Queen's car is handling, and she's so much gentler on the throttle than Kimi. You can just feel it already.
I think that if you go into the pits 30 seconds extra, I think that people should pit now.
Yeah, affirm that. She's in the pits. And there's the drivers in front as well. What did Livingwall do?
Huge oversteer, and he didn't go into the pits. Neither did Max. Oh,
interesting. Well, Kimi and Max have stayed out. They're confident on those tyres right now. And they could actually gain significantly on this lap. Of course, the risk of other drivers making mistakes is very high as well during this stage. Yeah. So Max just gently, I think this might have been a lap too long. You can see the water starting to splash on the track. How's this feeling for Max on the racing line? seems... Oh, no, it's difficult. It's very difficult.
Well, we saw the masterclass from Foxy at Britain in that very wet Grand Prix.
Yes.
Winning that race on a zero-stop strategy. So we see brilliant pace from him today.
It's interesting here to see. Obviously, Daniele, Kimi and Max certainly winning bravery points for staying out on this lap. Max counter-steering under traction. That was quite stylish, actually. I have to say credit to Max for that one. Daniele pits, though, lap 19 on his mediums. I'm sure Livingwall will do the same. And anybody else on dry tyres now. In comes Max. The question is, what was his time, his lap time like relative to new intermediate runners at this stage? The lead of those is Foxy so far, so we'll see if Foxy, his pace was able to compete. Daniele's underway and leaving the pits already. Looks like Foxy is going to get by Max, yes, and Kimi in the pits, as well as Livingwall. So Foxy retains second place. Kimi coming out of the pits, joint with the Haas of Big Bambino, just learning where the traction is, trying to generate heat in those inters and defend at the same time. Big job on for Kimi here, but Kimi's gained places, Lightning, using those soft tyres that extra lap.
Max was about 3 seconds slower than Foxy on that changeover lap. Yeah. But on board with Foxy, he's not driving at the pace that you expect him to. Understeering everywhere, and he lost 4 seconds to Daniele, which I'm shocked at, to be honest. Yeah,
so possibly a problem on the in-lap as well as these early laps, but Daniele scything through the field already, through the back markers.
Wow. Who'd have thought it? Daniele in the lead. He's been very, very brilliant this season, has to be said. Any conditions, and he's always right up there.
No, agreed. He's got a 3-second penalty, but he's comfortably 10 seconds ahead of Foxy at the moment, and stretching, I should say, away. Big Bambino has Kimi in front of him, because they won't have DRS, and that does get difficult to start making passes on the start-finish straight. Big Bambino be needing to avoid overrunning the track limits like that. He'll pick up warnings all night long for driving like that. It looks like Super Mies retiring. Lightning, did we see where has he gone into the pits? He has.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah, well, interesting. Not fancying a run to the end from 14th. I think there's plenty of point carrying on driving tonight. I think people are going to fall off this racetrack before this is done. It's lap 21 of 33 with Daniele, your championship leader, in first place by nearly 10 seconds from his second place in the championship rival Foxy. Then Kimi in third, who started pole and has two-stopped his way and stayed in third place. Bambino just behind. Then Speed Queen with a good drive, but Max chasing her down as well. Max on slightly newer inters by a single lap. Speed Queen with a great drive on those virtually dead soft tyres she was on for, is it 17, 18 laps?
Yeah.
So then after Max comes Livingwall, Martin, Matty and Tom, and Burmeister just outside the points at the moment with Reshka and M. Doran still left in this race, and M. Doran gets a speeding in the pit lane penalty and retires. Just as I say, he's still in the race. I'm not having a good night for this, am I?
No, certainly not. Bambino, meanwhile, is in the slipstream with ERS. He's going for a move here. Up the inside, around the outside, or will he wait?
Well, Kimi's hogging the middle of the track and derating the whole way, so he's wasted a lot of ERS battling with Kimi there. But Kimi goes over the edge of the track, and again, we'll probably catch a warning for that.
Ooh, that was very close to hitting the back of Kimi there, but gets the switchback. Doesn't get a better exit though, as Kimi goes wide off track. In the slipstream, gaining a bit, but not enough. Has to wait for the next opportunity, probably at the start-finish straight again.
Definitely, and it's going to be difficult to stay with him on the inter tyres through this switchback. Difficult. sector of the track. Very difficult to find your braking spots. You're staring at the sky quite often, and there's not a lot of trackside furniture near the track. Of course, this is mainly a testing track like Paul Ricard, so you get lots of very long runoffs and very distant walls for the drivers to so that the people who have track days don't ruin their cars by their lack of skill. But it's certainly an issue I find driving this, at least, is knowing where you are and where all your braking points need to be.
Yeah, and especially into the trail braking corners, it's incredibly difficult to spot your braking zone for those who use no assist, like I believe Speed Queen and Livingwall.
So Max now slightly closer to Speed Queen. Big Bambino just being gapped by Kimi on that lap, where I'm guessing Big Bambino is having to harvest, as we saw him try and spend it all. But it is difficult to make the passes work in the rain. You just have to pile the pressure on Lightning and wait for someone to make a mistake or open the door.
Yeah, but
another big stylish opposite lock moment for Max coming out of turn 5.
I think Max is going to be a little bit frustrated, considering he was so close to being on pole and is now P6. This is why I'm glad that next year's regulations are changing, so that everyone gets a free choice of tyres. Oh my goodness!
Yes,
he loves his oversteer.
Yeah, he's not afraid to be doing that. It's quite impressive, I have to say. Some might think it's slightly unfair, the timing of the rain, but of course all the drivers before qualifying had the benefit of Jeff's weather forecast, and certainly Daniele opting to qualify on the mediums, several other drivers doing the same, and it seems to have been the most flexible and reliable strategy when it comes to second half of the race rain intervention. Foxy now 11 seconds back, and Max diving down the inside into turn 2. Wow.
An amazing switchback. Speed Queen went wide into turn 1 because the braking zones are different in the wet, and Max just gets a beautiful switchback, absolutely spot on, and sails on through.
Great stuff from Max, up to P5 now. He's 6.8 seconds behind Big Bambino, who in turn is less than a second behind Kimi. But penalties for Big Bambino and for Daniele may not feature as we get to the end of this race. Let's check that out. Yeah, just 3 seconds apiece for 4 of our drivers, really underlining the strength of this field, Lightning, that are able to drive a challenging track in difficult conditions, and we have a total of 4 penalties on the track right now.
Not just that, but it's the track with the glitches, track limits that are incredibly unfair, that even if you don't go off track you get a warning.
Yeah. Like
Big Bambino just did then.
Right then, yeah, indeed. Well, Foxy up 10 places. Big Bambino is currently up 12, but looking like he's going to struggle to hold on to that 4th place with Max. Has been released from behind Speed Queen. Kimi in 3rd. Won't think this is too bad a race, but I don't know, if you start on pole, you're always thinking the race is yours to lose, perhaps. We were hoping for a famous Max victory tonight. His front left looking a little sketchy there. Thought for a moment it was punctured, but it's just a graphic rendering, I think, that was at fault.
A bit like the Qatar Grand Prix. On the cameras, you could see that the front left looked absolutely horrific because of the different frame rate of your eyes versus the camera. So that was quite interesting from what I noticed.
Absolutely. Speed Queen then dropping back here. Max not really able to gain very clearly on Bambino. So I don't know whether he's quite got the pace to be challenging up for the podium after all. Podium currently made up on lap 26 as Daniele crosses the line by Daniele, Foxy and Kimi. Daniele now 11.3 seconds ahead of Foxy. With Foxy and Kimi no penalties here so far. But it's absolutely required, Lightning, that all British drivers are able to drive in the rain and can go especially well around Silverstone. So no surprises here, really.
No, but funnily enough, Kimi is going faster than Foxy.
Nice. Well, we'll see if they get close to one another. But yeah, it was certainly worth remembering earlier, as you did, that Foxy had that great drive in the wet in Silverstone.
It's weird how someone's pace in the same conditions can differ so much from track to track. So Foxy absolutely amazing in Britain, but now is half a second, nearly a second a lap slower than Kimi here in Portugal.
Yeah. Just watching with Daniele, looking very under control. Harvesting at the moment, not really spending his ERS. Just pretty much chilling out. A little bit of lens flare there. It looks like the sun poking out of one of the clouds temporarily on the way through turn 15. So look out for that, if the conditions are likely to dry up or not. Looking very wet at the moment. Daniele not afraid of the exit curbs, even in the wet. I avoid them like the plague, Lightning, but Daniele obviously very, very skillful driver.
Yeah, the exit curbs, I don't know how some people can use them, and then other people barely touch them, and it completely sends them flying. Not sure what's going on there, but they have different talent. Yeah.
Or maybe they just spend an awful lot longer practicing than we do.
Yeah.
That'll be it. Yeah. Nothing to do with talent. We can all get there, surely. But no. Yeah, Daniele now 12.3 seconds in front of Foxy. Kimi in third. Bambino in fourth with Max. Then Speed Queen, Livingwall, Martin, Matty, Tom, Burmeister, and Reshka. The cars pretty much equispaced all along this track at the moment. I think Daniele will be coming up to lap Reshka shortly, but a long way off his teammate. So hopefully saving that embarrassment for Burmeister, who's not had a very clean race today, and we don't know if it's his fault or not. But lap one was a mess.
One just ended it.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame, but I think the battle to be brewing is Livingwall or Kimi. I'm not sure who's going to get to their opponent first, but knowing our luck, it'll be both at the same time. Probably
yes. Probably while we're saying, because we never know quite where to watch in these circumstances. When the rain is falling, the grip is dropping off the intermediates slowly but steadily. Anyone can fall off the track at any moment in these conditions, and the chance of you actually being on the right car at the right time is roughly 1 in 12 at the moment, I think. Kimi is now 2.1 seconds behind Foxy. As you say, Livingwall getting a bit closer than that. Yeah,
nearly 1.2.
See how that's running for him. So Speed Queen has had flashes of speed today, but perhaps not quite as consistent as other drivers around her. Obviously,
I don't blame her lack of pace at the moment in these really tricky conditions, because she runs no assists, therefore no racing line, and that is very impressive to swap from dry to wet to now full wet, because you can see the amount of rain has increased quite dramatically in the past couple of laps. So to keep it on track and keep it clean with track limits, it's very impressive.
There's a lot of standing water around right now. I mean, you know how I feel about drivers who use racing line anyway, but
yes.
I just don't understand it. It just, it feels like the most arcadey way of driving.
You're very disappointed when I said I put it back on.
Yes, definitely. Hopefully we'll wean you off it and get you onto solid food shortly. Anyway, but Livingwall 1.5 seconds, lost a little on that lap. Kimi now 1.8 seconds. Just wanted to have a quick look at fastest lap that I don't think is going to be bettered. It's Kimi. It's sitting with Kimi at the moment, P3, 18.475. But at what point Lightning, do they start wondering about wet tyres? Will that ever feature?
I mean, it does look pretty dreadful, but I think that the pace difference with only 4 laps left, I'm not sure it'll be enough to warrant losing 25 seconds. Livingwall's pace advantage currently is sector 1. Primarily, turns 1, 2 and 3, he gains about half a second. Loses a tenth through the rest of the lap, and then gains it back, of course.
He definitely looked very close coming into turn 5. So are we looking at a top speed difference there with the 2 straights featuring?
I think it's just better braking and knowing the braking zone, and carrying more speed because you don't go as wide.
Indeed, yeah. Well, it looks
Kimi
like I've just cut to Kimi as Daniele has finally lapped Reshka. So Daniele, the entire back straight away from Kimi and Bambino. Sorry, Kimi and Foxy. Excuse me. So Kimi now 6 tenths behind Foxy, and yeah, certainly going to challenge for second place tonight. That should be dicey and fun to watch. 3 to go now, guys, and it's Daniele, Foxy, and Kimi. Bambino, Max, Speed Queen, your top 6. So time running out for both Kimi to take Foxy and on Livingwall to get Speed Queen. They're going to do it at the same time, Lightning. Oh, yeah. Wow, okay.
Oh my
Kimi
goodness,
almost did it there, yeah.
Very close.
Tom agrees in the chat. He says racing lines should be banned. I definitely think it should be banned for top level racing, but that's a purist.
There is an issue. There is quite a big issue, in fact. Kimi has negative 0.15 laps of fuel.
You've got very close to your TV screen to read that, haven't you?
Oh, Foxy with a huge oversteer moment.
Yeah, but Kimi's reached VMAX down the straight and he's on the outside. I don't know that Kimi's going to be hold on if he's still having to lift and coast. Oof. Yeah.
Foxy with the extra speed, but a switchback. Oh, and Kimi touches Foxy's rear end. That's not going to help the
Not a surprise though, given the way that Foxy swept across in front of him. Foxy trying to hold the inside line as they go through turn 4. This could go very wrong. Yeah, that was a bit of a squeeze. I'm not sure it was fully his corner to make that claim.
Yeah, side by side. Kimi was slightly ahead going into the corner. That's a little bit cheeky.
Well, Foxy definitely wants this second place, you can tell.
Certainly does.
Very keen. Livingwall's dropped back, made a bit of a mistake, so we're down to 2 complete racing laps to run. And the intermediate's holding on. Wow, and away goes Kimi! God. He's visiting Portugal twice over as he smashes through the advertising hoardings, holds onto the car, well held, sir, but unfortunately that is the battle over, you feel.
It certainly is. That was quite the moment, heart in mouth for Kimi. And now he has to deal with no fuel.
Abby says it was just hard racing, so fair enough. But I do think that perhaps the dirty tyres would have caused an issue that happened a couple of corners later that meant Kimi made that mistake. You could argue, of course, that he should anticipate that going off track always equals overheated or dirty tyres, but I don't think you get one without the other. So Kimi unfortunately dropping back, and that's denied us any further battling.
I'm not sure what's happened to Livingwall. His pace has significantly dropped off. His advantage has reduced as... and a 3-second penalty. That's not going to help. 6 seconds now. That's a nail in the coffin for that one, which is a bit of a shame.
Definitely. Tom says if you're on the outside, you're getting shoved off. Law of racing. Yes, I think if you're on the outside and your front wheel is past the other driver's front wheel, it's your corner. But certainly putting yourself on the outside, it's definitely a dangerous place to be, even if it's not a deliberate shove off the track, even if it's simply a driver losing grip, or deciding to put in half the amount of lock that they should put on for a corner.
Kimi has decrease the gap by
Yeah.
1.7 seconds.
But you say he's on negative fuel.
He's on negative 0.07. So he's saved some. He has to do a lot of lift and coast, is that. But he's within a second. So even with lift and coast, he still has a chance.
Great stuff. Well, Tom is saying that Foxy is only doing this with some excellent engineering. I think that's a little unkind to Foxy. Kimi very close though. Daniele about to close this one out. He's halfway round his final lap. So I don't know if Kimi will have a go here. If he does, I expect it to be elbows out, but he's way too far back into turn 5. Be hoping to put the pressure on and hope for a mistake out of Foxy here. Or maybe he'll be appealing in the stewards for a favourable result. Tom gets a penalty right at the death of the race, but I don't think it's going to affect his finishing position. He's fairly securely in P10. But Daniele has got 2 corners to go for win number 6 of the championship. That is only 12 races old, so quite something.
Kimi around the outside.
I'll get there a minute, because Daniele wins in a very wet Portugal with a great move. Foxy and Kimi, side by side here, battling away. They are certainly pushing one another. Oh, Foxy to the inside, Kimi to the outside. Will he push him up? Oh, that's just getting over the top as Foxy clears it on the road and gets second place, slightly ahead of Kimi. I'm not sure, Lightning, about that exchange at the end. That seems slightly unnecessary. Big Bambino gets 4th, but quickly deposed by Max. I'm not getting any of the drivers on track because of the wonderful graphics. Big Bambino 5th, with Speed Queen coming home in 6th.
What have you done? No!
Livingwall retires from the session in the pits.
No, he just got a huge tank slapper on the last corner and managed to DNF.
DNFs, yeah, so everyone getting past him before the start-finish line. Incredible
100
stuff.
100 metres left. Wow.
We'll watch, we'll see if we can find his car. There he is, in the pit lane entry, in fact. Matty getting 8th then. Looks like Burmeister might well drive to the line and get a single racing point out of this one tonight. But the win belongs to Daniele. Foxy held on to the end from Kimi. I don't think won by 10.9 seconds. I'm getting a strange interval on there. But yeah, I think Burmeister will get that final point.
Yeah, that is why you shouldn't retire in the pits.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Foxy getting the driver of the day. Do you agree?
With that defence, that was maybe a bit overboard.
Well, we'll see what the stewards have to say in the midweek. But it's Daniele with yet another win. It's win number 6 for Daniele, as I say, in a 12 race so far championship. Utterly dominant. Will be closing in on the championship. Could, I think, win it next week. So tune in to find out on that one. But Foxy getting the 2nd place. Kimi in 3rd, at least on the road. And maybe Lightning, you'll take us through the rest of the finishing order with the fastest lap, I think, there with Kimi in the end.
So Max from P2 gets P4. Bit of a heartbreak for him. Followed by Big Bambino, 16th to 5th. That was pretty impressive. Speed Queen, Martin, Matty, Tom and Burmeister finishing at the points. Followed by Livingwall, Reshka, M. Doran, Super Mies, Tots and Nathan. From, I think, Livingwall down to Nathan all DNFing. With Livingwall's crash right at the end, it proves that you shouldn't retire, even if you if you still have a car that can race. You should continue on.
Yeah. So Sheldon agents to Sheldon Cooper in the chat says Kimi got a 10-second penalty right at the end. Presumably that was driving off track.
It was off track because he had nowhere else to go, and the game decided to give 10 seconds, which will definitely 100% get removed.
Indeed. Yeah, well, I'm waiting to see what the drivers have to say in the chat at the end. There's a lot of people typing. Tom is lots of people disappointed with us for not liking the hard racing at the end. My first take on it is it was a little over the top, but you know I'm happy to stand corrected. Just a quick note of while Lightning sees if anyone fancies a chat, a quick note of thanks to our sponsors. Firstly to GT Omega and then Nelcut Hall, and our partners Driver61 and GridFinder.com, without whom we would not be going racing tonight. So a big thank you for them. Rents says in the chat that was some open lobby style defence. I'm not sure it was quite. I think the correct judgment sits somewhere in the middle of hard racing and open lobby. I'm not quite sure it was all that bad. Certainly the open lobbies I've been in. Reshka said he had an internet outage, which meant his AI has done some of his race for him. Martin, a bit disappointed with his strategy, and he said GG's, especially anybody who did 17 laps on softs. Well, that would include Speed Queen, of course. But yeah, we'll see if we can't get a couple of our drivers in. I don't know if Daniele is feeling like it. Foxy certainly is, because he's on his way. Let's see if we get a word from our race winner first off. But I know that without his translator, he's often a little shy. Hopefully he will join us, whether he has a translator or not, for his championship crowning, if that's what it is to be. Yeah, not sure if anyone else is joining, so we'll go to our second place podium finisher. Foxy, congratulations, second place. How did that go for you?
First stint was fun, overtaking people.
Yep.
Making my way past all the soft runners. And then the rain came down and I was okay at first, but then it was like full wet conditions and it was ridiculously difficult to drive, especially when you're a no assist driver.
Just get that one in.
Yeah.
So moral victory you're claiming there.
Oh yeah.
Was it especially difficult to stay on track when you had someone alongside you, did you find, tonight?
Yeah, it was full wet. I had no assist, no traction control to help me by like some of the other drivers. I had Kimmy coming at me quite quick.
Yep.
And then I had people down my ear putting me off a little bit. So yeah, I had a few obstacles, but I made it in the end. So that's good.
So some people would argue that there is an off button, or you can take your headset off if people are screaming at you too much. But they were claiming a significant portion of your result on their excellent engineering.
Well, one of them can get in the bin and he knows exactly who he is, and the other one, yeah, he was okay until he started laughing at my pace, and then the other one, you know, sat there just quietly, you know, trying to get me to get, you know, the podium, which I'm, you know, forever grateful for her support. So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. It looks like you did a good job. Would you expect a little trip to the stewards after that battle with Kimmy tonight?
I mean, I'm in there all the time, so probably, but you know, it's hard racing at the end of the day. If you want to go around my outside, have fun off the track. You know, I don't think I did anything wrong. The last corner on the last lap, I lost it on the curb, so I didn't actually mean to push him off at all. Well, there was one where I did, but like the last corner I didn't. It was just I'd nearly flip him, put us both in the wall. So I think we're both lucky to make it to the line. It was good racing, and it's exactly what I'm sure you two want to watch, and I'm sure it's what everyone else wants to watch. So
it was certainly entertaining, and I think you got a lot of people out of their seats. So that's certainly a very good thing. What chance do you think of hunting down Daniele for the championship, or at least holding on to second over Max?
Well, Daniele, he's had an incredible season so far, but I think how many races have we got left? 3. I'm guessing that for whatever reason Daniele's talent is going to go out the window, and I will win every single race with fastest lap and win the championship. That is my guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably not, but you know, I'll take second.
Any questions from you, Lightning, at all?
Was it Charlie the one that was shouting?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
There you go. He said he wasn't. So yeah.
He asked where our information was coming from as to the fact that he was the one that often criticised you out there. But yeah.
Yep, he was more than happy to tell me how slow I was. But yeah, it's a shame he's not allowed to race here anymore. So yeah, enjoy sitting on the bench.
We're not going to ask what happened there.
No, I think we're under a mandate not to discuss that issue. I have to say,
That's Craig.
yeah.
The big boss.
But a good job done anyway, and congratulations on second place. I don't know, Lightning. Are we hearing from Kimmy or from Daniele? I'm guessing not.
No, sadly not.
No. Okay. Well, I think Charlie is. Sorry, I think Abby is switching allegiances over to Foxy here. She has no positive words for Burmeister in the chat. It's all Foxy. So a new fan won tonight, and yeah, I don't quite know what Burmeister's going to do without Abby in support. Well, we've had a fun night racing. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've subscribed to the channel and liked the video already, because the next few nights you'll see plenty of Invictus Racing League action, same time every night this week. Lightning, anything from you tonight? What are you taking away from this race?
Nothing much really. That was I think we've covered it all.
Excellent stuff. Well, it's been a pleasure commentating with you again. Great to have you on the Invictus Racing League channel, and well, I hope everyone's enjoyed themselves. Reminder, you can make sure you follow us, Invictus RL and WebORed5 on Twitter. And until next time, folks, we will catch you on the next race day.